Cool. Looks like we're live. Um, Interesting. Let's see how it goes. Experiment. Today I want to have a look at answering a question that a lot of people ask me and all around. So how to get data to build a soccer betting model? I think it's easier than most people think, and also cheaper. And I will show you a few ways to do it. Um, it might work on other websites as well. I'll show you 2 or 3 websites, but the principle will be the same. So let's say let's shoot directly um, with let's start directly with sharing a screen and opening our favorite notebook. Right. Cool. So we have a notebook here. Um, should be able to see it in a while. Yeah, cool. So what we're gonna do, um, we're probably gonna see a few things. Right. So what we're gonna do is we're going to use requests and scrape some data from some, let's say, unofficial APIs of football leagues. We'll start with the UEFA.com and we'll find, first of all, what's the page with the player statistics and where does this get the data from? And then we'll try to replicate the API calls that are behind the data in the UEFA.com website. So once UEFA.com website opens, which is yeah, kind of interesting, how long is it taking? But here you see uh, Europa League, stuff like that. And then at some point you should be, what are the matches, the draws, all the competitions. You should be able to see also different statistics for different players. Right. Yeah, you see coefficient rankings, men's, women, all this kind of stuff. Let's say we're interested in player statistics. So what we're going to do, we probably going to wait, go scroll. Let's have a look. Let's find the player statistics here. Mm. Mm-hmm. To where is the data? UEFA, please. Fuck. All right, let's try something different. UEFA is not collaborating. Let's try Serie A, legaseria.it. We'll leave the UEFA last. Cool, Lega Serie A, something. Right, so they have this video player on the Lega Serie A, but I think we're not interested in this. We can go to the menu on the left. Should be some player statistics here. Let's keep racist mount. Oh fuck. Right, statistiche, yeah, statistic in Italian. right. Okay. So we have something here like, for example, statistics by team, but let's see the statistics by player. Let's close this video player. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff. Goals and assists, of course, but also something like penalties scored, the own goals, red cards, yellow cards, minutes played, lost balls, uh, many many times substitutes, subs in, subs out, and more and more. Why I know more? Because if you go to developer tools, you should be able, I believe you should be able to see the developer tools here. But I need to check. Yes, you should be able to see developer tools. And you go here. I have. I'm on Firefox. And you go to network, Rete. Okay. And you'll be able to see all the calls that have been made by the Serie A API in the background to get the data. And if you order them by the amount of data transferred, apart from the stream, that is terrible, you should be able to go and see a big chunk of data. If you reload the page, maybe it's better. It's okay. And reload the page. You should be able to have a look at oh, this something like this looks like somehow interesting. Okay, Empoli broadcaster, we don't care. It's again ordered by transferred data. And the biggest on the top, and exclude the video, which we can close directly. Cool. Right. And there's something like that. You should see these calls that look like teams, season ID, and something with API inside. All right. So here you see the call that has been made, which is called something like legaserie.it, API stats, teams, season ID, Serie A, football season, some kind of random string, category general, order by, corners, one, directions, and so on and so forth. And you see the reply. It contains this object. It's called data, with a competition, pagination, and all the teams. And you have the team Lazio, for example, country name localized, country code, and so on and so forth. Now, this is for the teams. What we want is for the player. So if we again switch to calciatore, which means player, you should get a here it is, players season, Lega Serie A, stats general, and so on and so forth, ordered by goals, directions, and so on. Now this should be the right players, the right API calls to look at. Let me just confirm. I just don't want to see this video JS, but apparently streaming like this. All right. Yeah, cool. Category general, order by goals. And then there is category general, page element 5, and so on and so forth. So we could use these ones and like simply copy pasting the URL. Yeah, I think we can just copy paste everything here. And what do we do? We just import requests, which we use to make the request. We also import pandas because we want to format the data a bit better way. And in the end, with R, we'll just save the URL and examine it a bit just to be sure. What are we doing? It's of course HTTPS, legacy API starts with 3 general players. Whatever comes after this is our parameters, like season ID, Serie A, football season, some kind of string. We don't need to know what is that. Category general and ordered by assists, direction, descending, and page number element 5. So I had a look at this a few days ago, and I think that the best way to play with that is to just save the parameters and use the base URL. So you'll have URL like this, base URL. You will have a few parameters that are exactly season ID, category, and so on and so forth, like this. Order by, for example, through balls, and you specify the direction, the page, and the number of elements on the page. So how many elements will be returned by that, by the call. And then you'll just go get base URL and specify the parameters like this. Params equal params. We call this the response, and we execute the cell. And hopefully, response should give us a 200. Yeah, fingers crossed. A 200, wonderful. What's in the response? We can check the text, or we can just turn the response directly into a JSON. And apparently this is exactly a JSON. Now what do we see here? If we just make it JSON, it should be a dictionary with all the statistics of the Serie A players ordered by through balls. Of course, there's maybe too many, but we should be able to get them in a reasonable time. Yeah, and you see, okay, what we have here. So clearly, there is a few technical information about the request, if it's successful or not, or are the eventual errors. It's the message, the API call request time. So it's at 6th of March at 14:35. The competition ID, and so on and so forth. The provider of the data, Opta. And the players. I think that the most interesting one is players. So big number of the players: Nicolò Barella, first name and last name, player ID, PNG, which is probably, I mean, if you copy paste this into your browser, you should be able to get the big face of Barella here. Player image, exactly what we've seen before. It's probably in JPEG instead of PNG. If you want to see a face of Barella again, but in a different format, you get here. Oh, interesting. So nice. So better the PNG. Apply medium shot. Let's have a look. What is that? It's always interesting to look at these images. You can always like a program. Oh, okay. So this is a bigger shot of Barella. Wonderful. So you'll have all these shots of the Serie A players that you can basically get from these URLs. He looks older than me, Barella. Wonderful. Player slug, provider ID, role level, midfielder. So what we can do is just have a look at players. So For example, we can save data is resp.json, and then we'll just check data players, right? So we execute this, we check what's data players. Oh, data players, okay, data is resp.json, data, let's say what are the keys of data? Data, okay, data, and probably data. Let's have a look at the keys of data, and the players, perfect. So if you check data players, they should contain all the players, statistics and information. Wonderful. So now players should be 50, should contain 50 elements. So if we check len players, should be 50. And what we do for each player, so let's again have a look at the first player. So players 0. This should be Barella. And let's have a look at a few properties of the player. So for example, you want to build if you want to build a data set, right, which has all the statistics of a specific player, so of all the players of this area, you probably want to have a look at the last name, if we first name as well, okay, or directly at the short name. Yeah? Looks like the short name is more like a compact representation of the play ID, the label, the role label, and then all the stats. Okay, the stats will be stats under a dictionary inside the player, and we can say stats dot to represent, let's say to represent the dictionary elements, and we can have a look stats in application. Wow, so cool. So stats is basically a list, and for each of the stats there is minutes played. Okay, wonderful. Stats, then it's a list, and what we want the minutes played. Let's say the minutes played is a good stats, and then there is stats value, which is what we're interested in. So stats minute play, the stats value is all for all the stats, contains the value, and stats label contains the label. Perfect. Okay, stats label, and stats value, these are in the list. Cool. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do for a player in players, we are going to print the short name of the player. So pla, short name. We're gonna print the role of the player, pla role label. Wonderful. And then for as in stats, so pla stats, we're gonna print all the stats. Print something like stats label. We're gonna print them all. Stats label and the value, right? So s stats label, s stats value. Stats value. Perfect. This you should print, wait, stats value. And let's print something like after every player, like this one 40 times. Cool. Stats label. Oh, yeah, comma. I meant, what I really meant is an f string that I prepend f, then there is this and this and colon and execute. Let's see. Very cool, very cool. Still, still going on, but now we see Nicolo Barella, midfielder, games played, minutes played, goals, assists, scoring attempts, and all this bunch of wonderful stats. Oh, distance covered, average distance covered, total distance covered walking, average distance covered walking, wonderful duels, unsuccessful dribbles, corners taken. Wow, so much stuff, and we can save all of this into data frame, right? Left side passes, total successful passes, decathlon. This is wonderful. XG efficiency, whatever that means. Um, but these are all the statistics that are available for all the players in Serie A, taken from a simple API call to the Lega Serie A website. Like for example, we've ordered by through balls. So we expect Barella to be the one with the highest number of through balls, right? If we have a look at the through balls only, let's say through balls, 15 Barella, 13 the second De Ketelaere, um, 11 through balls for Pulisic, and so on and so forth. So we've ordered them by through balls. Let's say that we want to order by um, another statistics, like for example, XG, maybe offsides. I don't know, something interesting like goal assist, interception. Um, I'm very curious about the total distance covered. We might be able also to make an API call that just gets the top 50 players by total distance covered. Let's see if that works. It might not work, but it's worth trying. Looks like it's 200. We have the data, we have the players. And now let's just look at short name, first in player start. Let's see if as stats label, right? We don't want to print everything. It will be very um, will be very messy. We just want to see if this worked by the total distance covered. So if we only select the stats, there is total distance covered, and if the stats total distance covered, then we print the stat label and its value. So we see if those are actually in order as we expect. It's not. It's not. Doesn't look like it's in any kind of order, so that wasn't successful. Interesting. Interesting enough. Maybe you can't really order by all of them. You can only order by some of the some of the some some of the statistics. So through ball probably was one of the ones we could order through. So if we replace through ball here, yeah, through balls 15, Barella, De Ketelaere 13, Pulisic 11, Reinders, Martinez, Paz, Leao, Castellanos, Quara, are still there, or Fofana, McTominay, Strefezza, and so on and so forth. So yeah, but this way we can also do something like save this data, right? We've imported pandas. Now let's save the data somehow. So how we go about that? So let's comment this. We don't care about the stats label anymore. We don't want to print really the stats label and the stats value. What do we want to print? I think we want to print some more data about the players. For example, the team. I want to know players 0. yeah, the BIP number, the stats. Let's have a look at all the keys. I want to know the team, for example, right? Players 0, team. Team, and then we want probably from here we want the short name, right? Is team fake? Team is not fake, right? Perfect. So what we want now is to do this. For plugin players, the short name, the role label, the team, and all the stats, right? We saved. Instead of printing, we like name equal role equal role label. Team will be plug team short name, and for all the stats we will save them. I think we will save them in. We'll save them in a list stats, which we call stats. We initialize it before looping, and then we do stats append stats value as stats value, and then as stats value. And together with the stats, let's do something like this. Stats, we define it before. We define it just here. Stats append name, role, and team. So name, role, and team. It's terrible. I think I can do it better, more elegant way, but it doesn't matter right now. And we don't print anything. Right. Okay, so these stats will be initialized for every player. But what we want to do is, after we have gone through all the statistics, we want to append these stats to something like all stats, right? So we want to create a list that contains stats 1, stats 2, stats 3, and so on and so forth, for every player. So we have like this, right? Like this, right? So that when we save it in a data frame, it will look like a matrix of n columns, which will be n the number of statistics, and how many rows? 50 rows, because the number of rows is the number of players. So all stats we define here, that would be all stats of the players, and then we append to all stats which is stats of a single player that is initialized at every single loop. But looks like it worked. It worked super fast. Let's have a look at all stats. What does it look like? Yeah, looks like interesting. Now, what we want also is the columns of the name of the columns of the stats. So, for example, to get them, we can do something like we want the stats label, right? So we can do something like this: columns equal s stats value, right? For s in plus stats. So now what do we do here exactly? So plus will be the last player that we've looped, right? The columns will be the stats value instead of the stats label for all the stats in plus stats. And we can print them just to check that we're doing the right thing. These are the stats columns. Stats value, no, stats label, right? Stats label. Minus played, and so on and so forth. Look how many. So, and we want to add to this the name, role, the name, the role, and the name, the role, and the team. Let me check how would it work. What if I do something like? What if I do something like name, role, team, like this, and then I sum it? Shouldn't. Then I extend this. Name, role, team. Okay, let's look at the columns. Like this, maybe. Yeah, and role team, maybe if I do like this, right? Yeah. Without extending or simply summing it. Perfect. So the columns is this. Name, role, team, which are the first three columns that we have initialized, plus the stats. And if we print the columns, we're here. We get them here, name, role, team. Okay, since every column has a capital letter, just do this, we capitalize everything, and then we are, I think we're ready. We're ready to create our data frame. Our data frame will contain all stats as values, and the columns will be columns. So df equal pd data frame data frame, and all stats, we said all stats, and the columns equal columns. Let's see if it works. All stat, there is an s too much, one is too many. Oi, Oh, very interesting. We're missing some columns. Wow, this is interesting. Let's just not give the columns. Let's see how it looks like. All stats. Barella, midfielder, Inter. Looks good. Kvara. Cancellieri, Cristante, Busio. More or less all there. Perfect. Looks good. So we need to check the columns and what exactly is going on here, why we have so many columns, and how many really stats do we have for each of our elements. But another way to do it could be like to just save the stats as a dictionary, for example, and that and then create a dictionary directly from directly from um, directly create a data frame directly from the dictionary, which could be it could be easier. For example, if we just create stats is um, so for example, if we do name, right? If we basically, instead of appending mm, simply the numbers, we append the dictionaries, and we append the dictionaries by specifying um, the name, role, and we specify the name of the statistics. We can just do something like that. We append the name, role, and team, and stats instead we append the label and the value, right? So we append a dictionary that has as a key the label, as a value the value, and we're good. We don't care about the columns. We create a data frame, and the data frame looks kind of like this. Role, team. It looks good. But then we'll have to unpack this data frame as a as a JSON. Yeah, it shouldn't unpack by itself. But anyway, I think there is a way for pandas to simply add the records as a dictionary to create a data frame from a list of dictionaries. Let me just look it up. From records should be, or from dict. Because this is okay, all stats is a list of dict, right? All stats is a list of, yeah, you know what, okay, yeah, we should compactify stats as a dictionary, and then we should do stats like this will work. Stats name equal plus short name, stats role, and so on and so forth. Stats role equal plus role label, stats. Wait. Yeah, let's close this. Stats team equal Platin short name. Perfect. And we don't need to append anything. For simplest stats label, right? should be equal to stats value as stats value. And what do? We append this dictionary, this stats dictionary, to all stats. Need to close this, right? And the columns we're not interested in it anymore. Let's just comment them out. And all stats looks like this. Okay, yeah, this is not needed. Let's rerun. Yeah, they look much better. Now, if we create data frame like this, we should have something very interesting. Cool, cool, cool. This is good. There is a lot of nuns, like because these are only valid for goalkeepers. So, for example, penalties conceded, there is no value, and we can turn that into a zero. On goal scored if there is no value, and so on and so forth. But most of the columns will be filled. We will have the name, we will have the team, we will have the games played. We can order it by, for example, now we can order by the number of what we said, the uh, the total distance covered. Okay, so we have the data frame. And we can sort values, and we can do by equal, and we can do total distance covered, and we can say maybe descending. I never remember descending equal true, ascending equal false, reverse, ascending equal false. Yes, ascending equal false. And then we see that when do z, right, let's just look at total distance covered and a few other things. Going to z series. Name, team, total distance covered, name, role, yeah. Minutes played also. Let's just leave it like this. So we'll see, yeah, going to Z, the one that covered the most distance. Now we see that it's ordered Ricci, second McTominay, third, and so on and so forth. Barella is only probably the 2, 4, 6, 8, 9th, Mkhitaryan the 10th. With Lazio, Torino, Napoli, Parma, yeah, 2 Lazio players in the top 10, Guendouzi and Rovella. Cool. I think this was cool. I think we covered a lot. I want to show you in the same vein how to do it. We started with the UEFA website. Oh, UEFA website now looks good. We close the Serie A one, and we go, like, for example, to the specific competition. Let's say we want the Champions League. The Champions League should be here. Close Barella. We close the original UEFA, and we leave it only the Champions League open. And once it opens, we will do the same trick as for the Serie A. But it looks like it's not gonna, doesn't want to open. Yeah, it opens. And then we open here, and we check, for example, the statistics. Statistics should be already on the first page. We see that there are a few matches, match ID, API calls. For example, you can have a look at this one. Yeah, matches, match ID, and the reply. You see it's JSON. Again, away team, competition, the home team, the kickoff time, the attendees, match day, the player events, all the events of the match, the red cards, scores, the related matches, again, the score, what are the stadium, and so on and so forth. But if we want to get aggregate data, you probably are interested in something that's more on the top. Look at the API calls, default. So here we don't see the player statistics. Draw stable video. Stats, here it is. So we can click on stats. Click on stats and wait for the API calls to start to appear. And potentially panenka.uefa.com. Panenka.uefa.com. It's a server that has the media, probably. Yeah. Okay, we again transfer by dimension, order by dimension, sort by dimension, and we wait for the statistics to appear. Then you will see something. Once it appears, you will see something like this, which I already prepared before, just in case. You will see something like this. I will explain you. Exactly the same as we've done for the previous. You'll see an URL that will look like compstats.uefa.com. So it's competition statistics, compstats, like competition statistics.uefa.com. The stats, you should be able to look at. All right. Anyway, compstats.uefa.com, V1 player ranking, and then competition ID, limit, offset, optional fields, and so on and so forth. We'll just split this into two parts. One is the URL UEFA based, the other one is the parameters. Competition ID should be the Champions League, the limit is 50, the phase tournament, season year, offset, order by descending, add also player and team as optional, and then you can specify all the stats. In this case, you can specify the attempts on target, off target, blocked, and matches appearance. Now the headers, you always have to specify headers from UEFA.com, otherwise the API call will be denied. And you can just find the headers here. Like for example, you have a header, right? Like for example, the header of the request, which is here. Like you can get the raw data, and you can say host, you use storyteller, accept, language encoding. Or maybe you can just place your own header, the header of your own request to the web page, which should be something that will look like your user agent, like your Mac in my case, Firefox for the browser, and something, nothing more. Yeah, just this user agent. It should be enough. So specify user agent as a dictionary. You see, it's exactly this. So let's look at what we get if we run the API call like this. We get a 200, and what's in the response again should be a JSON. So just parse it as a JSON. And we have a nice list of players. First player, Mbappe, like from a club shirt name. You can have the image URL. So for example, copy paste it into your browser, you should get a JPEG of Kylian with a nice Madrid jersey. Translations, there are a lot of translations. I think that I don't know, UEFA keeps like 50 different translations for every single thing, from the first name to the statistics and so on. But what we're like, for example, you have all the statistics and the name is attempts on target, but then there are also the translations of the statistics that go from French, Deutsch, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, even Russian, Hungarian, and so on and so on and so forth. So, but the most important thing is the value of the statistics. So let's say if we save data like this and we explore a bit data, we see the data should be as you see, the list. So if we check the length of data, it's 50 because we just asked for 50 players. If we check the first element of data and then we check the keys, we see that we have a player, player ID, statistics, team, and team ID. So for example, if we check player, we have all the statistics about the player, when he was born, where is he from, the gender, the height, 178. I doubt it, but I think he's taller. I thought he was taller, the international name, and so on and so forth. So like we can like, for example, parse all the data of the players. So for example, international name is something to want to have. And then the statistics, I think there was, I think statistics was one of the others, right? Statistics, okay. Data, statistics. Wonderful. And again, we can loop on the statistics and do something like, now this for D in data zero statistics, we can, for example, print the name, right? Name. And we can have a look at the value, right? The value. So the statistics here is similar to what we had before. Before we had stats label and stats value. Here we have stats name, like the name and the value. So like, for example, we have attempts on targets of target, blocked matches, appearance. So what we want to save, like to say we want to save the name of the player. Okay, we say that the data zero, international data zero, player, international name is the name of the player. Kylian Mbappe, in this case. The team, do we have the team here already? I think we don't have the team. I think we need to look for the team like this. Just check the keys again. Check the team. And maybe extract the name of the team from there. Yes, we have international name again for the team. So here it is. Name, player, international name, perfect. So these are the things that we're interested in for each of the players. So what we're going to do is for the in data, first of all, we are going to define a dictionary that will be stats. We call it stats. And this is a dictionary. All stats instead will be, again, all the stats list. Stats will be a dictionary, and then for the in data stats name, we said the role. Is the role also available? Let's have a look. Is the role available? I don't think it's available. I don't think we have roles here. But delantero, national field position. Yeah, I think national field position could be or field position. Yeah, field position N. Field position like this. Right, field position. So stats name will be, we said, international name, right? So will be the player international name. The role will be, we said, the player field position, and the team will be the team international name. At this point, we can then loop on the stats for the in data, for S in the statistics, right? So for each of the player, we have the statistics. We don't print anything, but we just say that stats S. We said that. What was that? Like it was a name and value, right? We have it here. S name equal S value. S value. Awesome. And in the end, all stats append stats. Cool. What's all stats? What does it look like? We have see, attempts on target, of target, the name, the role, the team, and now we can basically build in the same way a data frame, same way we've done before. Now let's call this df UEFA, and this is the PD data frame, all stats. If we explore df UEFA, now we have the name, the role, the team, and these are ordered by attempts on target in the Champions League so far. So Mbappe 25, Holland 19, Kane 19, Guirassy 18, and so on and so forth. We need to scroll to 9th place. Lookman. We have the top 50 players by attempts on target, and this is for the UEFA website. We can do the same for the La Liga website, and again, everything looks very similar. This is La Liga. You have an URL base, you have a list of parameters, and then you have a player stats. And here, in case of La Liga, it's mostly in Spanish, but you have the player stats are all in English. And this way you can build statistics, and you can build a data frame starting from the API, starting from sending requests to the links and compiling them this way into dictionaries and importing the dictionaries into data frame. Here, for example, we can see that only Wirtz and Phil Foden and Musiala are one of the few midfielders that are on the top for shots on target. You can, of course, as you see in the case of the Serie A, we had hundreds of statistics. In the case of the UEFA, the stats are limited, but just because we have only specified some stats. If we specify more stats, we can take like minutes played, the matches appearance, and so on. You can get more. And in the case of the La Liga, it looks more or less the same. You have in the parameters, you can specify what to sort from, but if you don't specify any statistics, then you get everything. You can see also if we don't specify any statistics, if we get everything for UEFA, no, it's 400. So you always need to specify stats. What if we specify something like this? Here I'm improvising, guys, so bear with me. Interesting. We can specify star just to say, give me all the stats. And let's explore data, 0, statistics, data. What does data look like? Oh, there is nothing. Yeah, okay. So we need to specify stats definitely to get something out of the request. What if we specify stats all or something like that? Some wildcard like this. Just let's experiment a bit. No, we need to go and specify exactly what we want. Cool. All right, here we can play a bit again with the API. What does it look like? CL players. Yeah, I think we need to navigate here to stats and the player stats to get something interesting. But hey, it's almost 1 hour, so I think I will close it here, but let me check very quickly. The problem is that the UEFA website is very slow, for me at least. And the player stats should load. Hasn't loaded yet. You see there are placeholders. SDK. We keep ordering by sorting by dimension, but I think data is not here. Here you see them. You see they appeared. They appear here. What we were interested in. See what we were interested in. Comp stats UEFA.com. Player ranking. Competition ID, optional fields, tournament. This is what we're interested in. We also have round participants, season 2025. What the reply looks like. Looks like the round and the teams. Right, so this is more about the teams than about the players. Player ranking. Player ranking is what we're interested in. And you see official match appearance, goals, assists, distance covered, top speed. Then you'll have to guess a bit the name of these are the key stats. But if you go on these other tabs, you should be able to see attacking, defending, goalkeeping, disciplinary, and then you add a comma separated list to these and apply the different filters so you can get more and more stats. Okay, I think we are almost done. I think we're done here. Before going, if you're listening, if you're still listening, I think there is a What, two of you? Oh, there is something in the chat. Cool, cool, cool. Some bots, I think, some bot message in the chat. Um, if you're still listening, I want to just a little plug. If you're interested in how to build soccer betting models and how to get all the data for the updated data for the main European leagues and the UEFA. I've written a few books about the topic. You can find them on tropians.gumroad.com. I wrote How to Build a Soccer Betting Model in a Weekend, Soccer Betting Coding about advanced um, methods and methodologies, ways to build data science-based models for soccer prediction, and build soccer betting model for Euro 2024, which you can adapt to any international competition, I would say. You can get them all for a super discounted price of only $25, the soccer betting bundle. Or if you're more interested about what's the content of the books, you can have a nice preview for free and have a look at the soccer betting intro to get a feeling of what will the books look like. Cool, thanks for watching. See you next time.